We've said this before, but every single death is a tragedy in its own way. And pro wrestlers, as with all entertainers, can touch our lives so significantly that their loss can feel as profound and as heartbreaking as if we'd known them personally. The real tragedy of the industry, of course, is just how common these departures seem to be. But each passing does at least give us the chance to reflect on and celebrate the lives of those we lose. So with that in mind, my name is Adam Cleary and these are 27 wrestlers who have died in 2021. Number 27, El Hijo de Anibal. El Hijo de Anibal passed away on the 23rd of January at the age of just 50. A 28-year veteran of the industry and 3-time AIWA World Heavyweight Champion, Anibal Jr. is just one of the millions who have tragically lost their lives to COVID-19 across the past 18 months. Number 26, John Renesto. Longtime world-class championship wrestling referee John Renesto passed away at his home on the 27th of January after a lengthy battle with cancer. A third-generation servant of the industry, he was 71 years old. Number 25, Butch Reed. Whether you knew him as Hacksaw or The Natural, Butch Reed was forever a hugely charismatic, powerful performer. A star of Mid-South Jim Crockett Promotions, WCW and the then WWF, the former Intercontinental Champion passed away on the 5th of February due to complications from 2 heart attacks. Number 24, Rusty Brooks. During his time as an enhancement talent in the then World Wrestling Federation in the 1980s, Rusty Brooks got to match up with major players like Andre the Giant, Jake Roberts, Jimmy Snuka, Junkyard Dog, Tito Santana, the British Bulldogs, Demolition, Ricky Steamboat, and even had a shot at Hulk Hogan's WWF Championship. Working as a trainer out of Florida in later years, Brooks got to put MVP, Gangrel, Lucha, Norman Smiley and Connor of the Ascension through their paces. Rusty passed away on the 11th of February, 4 days after his 63rd birthday, but at the time of recording, no cause of death has been made public. Number 23, Dean Ho. In a 21-year career, Dean Ho is best known for winning the WWF Tag Team Championships with Tony Garea, defeating the nefarious Mr. Fuji and Toru Tanaka in November 1973. Aged 80, Dean Kiyoshi Higuchi passed away on the 20th of February due to complications of chronic traumatic encephalopathy. 22, Don Serrano. At one point billed as the kayfabe brother of Pedro Morales, Don Serrano wrestled in countless promotions across North America, competing against heavy hitters such as Dusty Rhodes, Randy Savage and superstar Billy Graham. Serrano is also famously billed as the very first opponent of a young Terry Hulk Hogan Bollea. Don Serrano passed away on the 23rd of February. Number 21, Josephus. The passing of Joseph Hudson, aka Josephus, aka the question mark, is one that floored so many of us when the news first broke. At just 44 years of age, Joseph died on the 24th of February, with NWA World Champion Nick Aldis having since detailed how Hudson had an undiagnosed, undetectable congenital heart defect. His final match saw him as the question mark and Aaron Stevens go up against the legendary Rock and Roll Express for the National Wrestling Alliance, an organisation he also played a pivotal role behind the scenes for until his tragic passing. Number 20, Johnny DeFazio. Jumping Johnny DeFazio had quite the fascinating life and career. Beginning his wrestling days working under Toots Mondt for Spectacular Sports, DeFazio became one of the early stars of Vince McMahon Sr.'s WWF. Often teaming with Bruno Sammartino, Johnny would go on to win the WWF Junior Heavyweight Championship a record 4 times. Following his wrestling days, DeFazio would move into local politics in his native Pittsburgh. At the age of 80, Johnny DeFazio passed away on the 26th of February. Number 19, Ann Casey. Trained by the fabulous Moolah, Ann Casey became one of the most prominent women's wrestlers of her time, competing for all of the major North American promotions in the 1960s and 70s, beating Moolah to become the USA Women's Wrestling Champion and beating Toni Rose to become the NWA United States Women's Champion. Dubbed the Panther Girl during her career, Casey passed away on the 1st of March at the age of 82. Number 18, Jim Crockett Jr. One of the most influential and important promoters in wrestling history, Jim Crockett Jr. died on the 3rd of March at 76 years old due to complications from liver and kidney failure. Taking over Jim Crockett Promotions in 1973, Crockett Jr. made JCP one of the true powerhouses of the National Wrestling Alliance before selling the company to Ted Turner in 1988. Number 17, Buddy Colt. So great a bad guy was Buddy Colt, a fan once famously fired a gun at him during a wrestling show. And so tough was Buddy Colt, he survived a plane crash that injured Austin Idol and Gary Hart and tragically killed Bobby Shane. A mainstay of NWA territories like Georgia Championship Wrestling and Championship Wrestling from Florida throughout the 60s and 70s, Buddy passed away on the 5th of March at age 85. In his later years, he had battled Parkinson's disease and dementia. Number 16, Barry Orton. Despite a career that took in the WWF, the NWA, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Stampede Wrestling, Herb Adams, UWF and more, Barry Orton famously always saw himself as a musician more than a wrestler. The son of Bob Orton Sr., the brother of Cowboy Bob Orton Jr. and the uncle of Randy Orton, Barry passed away on the 20th of March, age 62. At the time of recording, his cause of death is still unknown. Number 15, Shawn VEXX. At just 42 years of age, independent wrestler Shawn VEXX died on the 1st of May. The news of Shawn's passing was announced on social media by Ember Moon at the time, with a cause of death as yet still not given. Number 14, New Jack. Whether you loved or hated his work, New Jack was undeniably one of a kind. At 58 years of age, this ever-controversial figure and extreme favourite died on the 14th of May after suffering a heart attack at his Greensboro, North Carolina home. Paul Heyman, who worked with him in ECW, paying an incredible tribute to him on that week's Talking Smack. Number 13, Astro Negro. Affectionately known as the Pony, former masked grappler Astro Negro passed away on the 14th of May at 63 years of age. Again, at the time of recording, a cause of death has not been revealed. Number 12, Don KERNODLE. Don KERNODLE spent his in-ring years working for Mid-Atlantic, the then WWF, and several major NWA territories, teaming with the likes of Sergeant Slaughter, Bob Orton Jr., and Ivan and Nikita Koloff to win tag team gold during those years. Don sadly took his own life on the 17th of May, shortly after visiting doctors to discuss several ongoing health issues. He was 71 years old. Number 11, Tony Marino. The barrel-chested Tony Marino passed away on the 28th of May at 90 years of age. Marino is best known for his 9 years with the then WWF, which was then followed up by 15 years working under the National Wrestling Alliance banner. During his career, Marino also had spells working as the Batman in order to capitalise on the growing popularity of a certain Caped Crusader. Number 10, John Barber. Shikara favourite Justice John Barber passed away on the 14th of June. Usually working as a referee during his time with the promotion, Barber also hosted the beloved Barbershop show on YouTube where he'd grill the stars of Shikara on a wide variety of topics. Tragically, John was just 34 years of age at the time of his death. Number 9, Melissa Coates. A bodybuilder and featured player on the Extreme Dodgeball game show, Melissa Coates was trained by Killer Kowalski before having a couple of years in WWE's developmental territories of OVW and Deep South Wrestling. She would also make an appearance at WWE Backlash 2005, famously being put in the Master Lock as part of Chris Masters' Master Lock Challenge. Coates would work for NWA Anarchy, Women's Superstars Uncensored and more once she hit the independent circuit. And 2014 would see her start managing Sabu under her Super Genie moniker. Melissa sadly passed away on the 23rd of June, 5 days after her 50th birthday. Number 8, Del Wilkes. Forever known as the Patriot during stints in the AWA, WWF, WCW and All Japan Pro Wrestling, Del Wilkes' story is brilliantly detailed in the 2015 Behind the Mask documentary. Wilkes passed away on June 30th due to a heart attack. He was 59 years of age. Number 7, Chris Youngblood. Shown on the left here as part of WCW's Renegade Warriors tandem, Chris Youngblood passed away on the 7th of July at the age of 55. Debuting in 1985, Chris, real name Chris Romero, the son of Rocky Romero, was often found tagging with his brother Mark, with the pair having particular success in Carlos Colon's World Wrestling Council. Number 6, Paul Orndorff. Few talents can claim to be quite as main event as Paul Orndorff. Mr. Wonderful was a solid babyface, but he was a truly phenomenal heel, with his run up against Hulk Hogan in 1986 and into 1987 setting countless records, including attracting an astonishing 76,000 fans to Toronto's outdoor big event. Of course, prior to that particular war with Hogan, Orndorff was also a part of the main event of the very first WrestleMania, teaming with Rowdy Roddy Piper to take on Mr. T and the Hulkster. Paul Orndorff passed away on the 12th of July at the age of 71. He'd been diagnosed with dementia shortly before his death. Number 5. Brazo de Plata. A veteran of CMLL and AAA, Brazo de Plata died on the 26th of July at age 58 after a heart attack. The news was made public by his son, Psycho Clown. WWE fans may also remember Brazo for his brief run as Super Porky as part of the company's short-lived juniors division in 2005. Number 4. Jody Hamilton. The assassin Jody Hamilton is one of the all-time great wrestling villains, whether that was as a solo act or as part of the Assassins tandem alongside Tom Renesto. Sadly, Jody passed away on the 3rd of August at 82 years of age, as announced by his son, Nick Patrick. Away from his own Hall of Fame in-ring career, Hamilton had a spell working as a key part of Dusty Rhodes' creative team in WCW, while Jody also famously headed up the WCW power plant, helping to train big-name players like Goldberg and Diamond Dallas Page. Number 4. BERT Prentice. Wrestler, manager and promoter BERT Prentice passed away on August the 4th after a battle with cancer. He was 62 years of age. In his various roles, BERT had been involved with promotions such as the USWA, TNT and Impact Wrestling, and more recently his USA Championship Wrestling Company. Number 2. Beautiful Bobby Eaton. Beautiful Bobby Eaton is one of those rare wrestlers who nobody in the business has ever had a bad word to say about. Added to that, he's viewed by the likes of Ric Flair and Steve Austin as being one of the absolute best to ever lace up a pair of boots, which should tell you all you need to know about Beautiful Bobby's in-ring talent. Forever remembered as one half of the Midnight Express, one of the greatest tag teams in either form in history, Bobby passed away in his sleep on the 4th of August at age 62. He had tragically lost his dear wife Donna just over a month prior. Number 1. DOMINIC DENUCCI. At the time of this recording, the most recent wrestling death of the year is DOMINIC DENUCCI, who passed away at the age of 89 on the 12th of August. Born in Veneto, Italy, DENUCCI wrestled everywhere across the globe in a career that only technically came to an end in 2012. Likely best known for winning the WWF International Tag Team Championships with Bruno Sammartino and having 2 stints with the WWF Tag Team titles, once with Victor Rivera, then with Pat Barrett, DOMINIC also helped train the likes of Mick Foley, Shane Douglas and Brian Hildebrand.